Let's get started in a breathing mechanic. We're going to start lying on the ground with our backs to the ground, legs bent, legs straight, whatever you feel comfortable with. Doesn't matter too much. I like to go legs bent just because it feels better for me, it feels more comfortable for me, but that's entirely up to you. From here, I want you to think pushing your ribs down to the ground. At the same time, pushing that back down to the ground, pulling that belly button into that back. So keeping the core tight, pushing that back into the ground, pushing those ribs into the ground. It's what we consider our neutral spine. From here, we're going to breathe in through the nose. Hold for a second. Exhale through the mouth, feeling our stomach rise and drop down. So the whole time, back should stay relatively tight, back should stay relatively still. Only thing moving is our belly here. Let's go 5 more deep breaths, just focusing on our belly breathing. I like to even place my hand on my belly, just get a little bit of a pressure into it so I can feel it rise up. And as I exhale, feeling it drop back down to the ground. Let's go 2 more times. And last one. And relax. All right. From here, I'm going to do a little crossover. So let's go. Legs still bent. Feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. I like to go almost shoulder width apart. And then we're just going to push both knees to one side. So lying on the ground, pushing both knees all the way to one side as far as we can. Coming right back up to the starting position. Exhale, push down to the other side. So always inhaling on the way up. Exhaling on the way down. Seeing if that exhale allows you to push just a little bit more, get a little bit further range of mobility or range of motion here. Same idea with that breathing. We're still trying to keep that belly button tight, rib cage down to the ground. Boy, it's real windy out there. Let's go 3 more times on each side. Just big rotations, just loosening those hips up. Again, these flowy movements, we're going to be doing kind of a total body flow. You're going to feel it in the hips, you're going to feel it in the shoulders. A lot of those big joints for mobility, that's what we're going to be working today. You may not feel it too much in the muscles, but your hips, shoulders, maybe a little bit into the back, core, you're going to be feeling it there. So it's going to be more of a pillar kind of work today. Shoulders, torso, hips, getting a little bit into the quads, a little bit into the arms themselves and the chest itself too. So you'll get a little bit of everything, but again, flowing, you're going to feel more into those big joints, working that range of motion, working that mobility. So we're trying to really just open them up a little bit. Open those hips up a little bit. Let's go 90-90 stretch. So we're going to be lying on our side, knees tucked, arms are going to be right in front of us. Keeping that core tight, one hand, that top hand, we're just going to open up as far as we can. I like to follow my hand with my eyes throughout the entire movement. And we're just going to go 5 times, opening up as far as we can, getting a good thoracic spine rotation. Hips should stay still, bottom arm should stay on the ground. We're only rotating as far as we can while allowing ourselves to stay in this stable motion. 5 times. And then we'll go same thing on the other side. So again, knees tucked, both hands right in front of us, right across from our body, opening up. Big rotation, 5 times. And just like before, exhaling on the way down, we're exhaling on that rotation, inhaling on the way back. Seeing if that exhale allows us to get a little extra through that rotation. One more time. And relax. All right. A couple more stretches here. We're going to go into a quadruped position, so on all fours. Wrists are going to stay under those shoulders. Knees are going to stay under those hips. From here, I want you to take and put one hand behind the head. We're going to do a quadruped rotation. So in this motion, hips are staying stable. We're going to push our elbow to our opposite elbow as far as we can. Try to look to the opposite side as we come back. We're gonna open up as much as we can, pushing that elbow to the sky, trying to follow our hand, following our elbow the entire time. Whole time again, hips should stay relatively square to the ground. We don't want to see ourselves completely opening up with our entire body, only moving through our spine here. 5 times. Exhaling on the way up, inhaling on the way down, trying to get as much rotation on that rotation, or as much rotation up as we can. All right, and last stretch, world's greatest. So we're gonna go one leg right in front, bend about 90 degrees, back leg, straighten it out. Now whatever leg's back, so this is my right leg, I'm gonna go right hand on the ground. Left hand, I'm just gonna kind of be on the inside of my knee. Now from here, I'm gonna take this left hand, reach all the way to the sky, big rotation all the way through, knee staying still, coming down. I even like to sometimes add a little rotation through my hand, get a little extra shoulder and thoracic spine stretch. If not, we'll go hand on the outside of that foot, rock back, pick that front toe up, get a little hamstring stretch. 3 times. Just nice big rotation all the way to the sky. We should have a straight line from top hand to left hand or bottom hand. Thread the needle if you choose. And then pick that toe up, get that hamstring stretch. If you're not straight on that leg, on that front leg, no problem. Just get as straight as we can. You'll still get that hamstring stretch regardless of which you choose or which way you can get, whether you're straight or not. And same thing on the other side. So now I'm gonna go right leg in front, left leg back, trying to straighten it out as best we can. Elbow on the inside of that knee, get the little hip flexor, little hip stretch, rotate up and down. Again, thread the needle if you choose. And hamstrings. 3 times. And last one here, and then we will be good to go. We'll get started. And relax. All right. Grab a drink if you need it. We're gonna get started. As I mentioned today, gonna be a lot of flowy kind of movements. First circuit's not gonna be any flow, but second and third circuit we'll kind of do a little bit more of like a just moving kind of workout rather than just a typical bodyweight strength workout. So first circuit though, we're gonna focus on power of the chest. Starting with a plyometric push-up. So in a push-up position, we're gonna go 4 rounds. Plyometric push-ups, we're gonna be in a push-up position, hands under those shoulders. I like to go just a little bit wider, feels better for me. In that push-up position. Now as we're coming down, let me fix my hat. We're just coming down like a normal push-up, but as we come up, we're not trying to move our mat too much, but as we come up, exploding up off the ground, we're gonna go 10 seconds of work. Now, if you need to, drop to the knees. Same idea, just getting a little bit of a push off the knees instead of off the feet. If that's not happening, what we'll do instead is just doing a regular push-up, but as we come up, explode up as much as we can. You may even raise off those hands just a little bit, maybe the heels of those hands come off a little bit. Perfectly fine. Just get as much explosion off the ground as we can. Add a clap, add a little clap behind the back. If you can do the Superman ones, whatever you can, just getting a full explosion off the ground. We're gonna go 10 seconds of work. After that, we're gonna do a little stretch. That one's not gonna be timed, so I'll just time you for this push-up, and then I'll show you the next stretch. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go, 10 seconds. And big explosion, all the way up, all the way down. And relax. Let's go into a quadruped position. So on all fours here, it's really hard to time with a stopwatch here, but on all fours, hands under those shoulders, we're gonna go one hand upside down. We're gonna thread the needle. Rotational arm reach. 5 times, pushing that shoulder down to the ground. Big exhale on the way down. You're gonna feel that stretch on that straight arm, kind of the back part of that shoulder. 5 times on each side. Again, 5 times on each side, big rotation. We're gonna go 4 rounds back and forth through those 2 movements. All right, let's get ready for round 2. Let me see if I can make my timer work a little bit better here. It's not gonna work too well. All right, let's go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. 10 seconds of those push-ups. And again, if you can't do a full push-up, drop to the knees, or just get that full explosion, relax. We should only get probably 3, 4 reps, just full maximal effort. Let's go into that quadruped position. May feel relatively easy the first round, second round, by 3rd, 4th rounds. 3, 4 push-ups when you're fully exploding off the ground, gets a little harder. Okay, 5 times on each side. Pretty sure I only did 4, but pushing this shoulder to the ground, getting that full movement, full rotation, reaching as far as we can, exhaling on the way down, and relax. Let's go to round 3. All right, ready? 10 seconds plyometric push-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go. 10 seconds here. Let's go. 2 seconds. 1. Relax. Quadruped with rotation. Knees under those hips. Hands under those shoulders. Full rotation here. And just kind of hang out. I could probably hang out there all day if I wanted to. Or if I had the time to. Big deep rotation, big deep stretch. Exhaling on the way out, 5 times. Each side. One more time on the side. And then we got one more round. We'll take a short break before moving on to circuit 2. Let's go. Ready? 10 seconds, last 10 seconds of push-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go. And remember, if you need to, drop to the knees, full push-up, or adding that explosion off the ground. 2, 1, relax. Done with push-ups. Let's finish off with that quadruped with a rotational arm reach. We'll take a short, probably minute and a half break before moving on to circuit 2. So circuit 2 is going to be all timed. 20 seconds of work between each exercise for 4 rounds. 20 seconds rest in between each round. But we're going to have fun with it. Like I said, it's going to be flowy. First exercise is going to be a jump, but after that, the next 3 exercises are going to be more flow focused. All right, quick breather, quick break, grab a drink of water if you need it. And then we'll get going. Like I said, it's about a minute and a half or so. So, shoulders, chest might feel a little tight already. That's okay, because we're going to work them a little bit more. We got more push-ups coming up. It's like push-up variation. Like I said, we're only going to do 4 exercises, but technically, if you count all the exercises that they all kind of combine into, it's more like 9 or 10 exercises in this one circuit. But again, they all kind of flow from one to the next, back and forth. It's going to be total body, working the squats, or working the quads, working the quads, working the chest, working the shoulders, working the core, and a little bit of the glutes as well. 20 seconds of work, no rest, 4 rounds. The only rest we're going to actually be getting is in between each round. So we're going to go 1 exercise, 20 seconds,
Second exercise, 20 seconds. Third exercise, 20 seconds. Fourth one for 20 seconds. We'll rest for 20. Repeat that 3 more times. So similar if you're taking any of my classes, similar to stuff that we normally are doing. We're going to start off in a lateral bound. Like I said, this is the only one that's kind of not actually flowy. We're just kind of be jumping back and forth. But one leg off the ground, one leg up. Lateral meaning side to side. Bounds meaning jumping off my right leg, landing on my left. That's all it is. So we're going to be jumping off my right leg to my left side, landing on my left. That's all the bound is. We're going to try and go continuously throughout. Now you can go skater jumps if you kind of want, where you're here and kind of rotating hand, feet back or behind and moving back and forth. 20 seconds of work. Or you can go kind of more in that bound where you're sticking this landing and moving back and forth. 20 seconds of work. Next exercise is going to be a deep squat with a rotation. Feet going to be about shoulder width apart. I like to go just a little bit wider, and then I take my toes and point them just a little bit out. If you heard me mention, I broke my hip when I was a kid. My hips don't like it when I'm in this typical squatting pattern, but find that comfortable spot for you. That's our deep squat. All it is. That rotation, we're going to take both our hands on the inside of our knees, and I like to even just kind of place them right on my feet, not pushing down to where I'm balancing on my hands, but just placing them on my feet. From here, I'm going to take one hand, rotate to the sky, back down, rotate to the sky, back down. Elbows always pushing into that knee, hand just resting on that foot, back and forth, 20 seconds of work. Screen just went black on me. So that's all it is. If you need to, just hold a squat from the side, just like so. You can hold this squat and just sit here for the 20 seconds. Otherwise, try to add that rotation if you can. Crab bridge with a cross body reach. Now, a crab bridge, we're going to go feet just right in front of us, bent, about hip width apart, hands right under our shoulders. From here, that's our crab bridge, right? Now, as we're coming up though, we're going to kind of pulse back and forth. We're going to take one hand, reach across the body, squeeze the glute, get a little rotation, come back down, reach across the body, full rotation, back down. 20 seconds, deep, long rotation as far across the body as we can. 20 seconds of that. And then we're finishing off with what we call a loaded beast to a push-up to a shoulder tap. 3 movements in one. So a loaded beast, kind of starting in a child's pose position, but we're going to pick our knees up. So starting in kind of this position here, knees up, push those hips back in that child's pose, loaded beast position. Notice my knees are off the ground. Now that push-up, we're going to try and keep our body as close to the ground as we can. Come to that full push-up position and up. Shoulder tap. That's a loaded beast to a push-up to a shoulder tap. And then from here, push those knees or push those hips straight back, right back up, push up, shoulder tap. If you need to, for push-ups, if you need to go off the knees, perfectly fine. Keep the body close, drop the knees, knees on the ground, lift them up, back to that loaded beast. Perfectly fine with that one, no problem. Try that movement out, a lot of coordination, 3 different moves throwing into one if you need to for coordination's sake. Let's just go push up to shoulder tap. So take off kind of this movement here. We're just gonna stay push up, shoulder tap, right back to that push up and shoulder tap. 20 seconds work. Then we'll rest for 20, repeat that 3 more times. I realize that's a lot, I know. It's like I said, about 10 moves in only 4 exercises in 1 minute and 20 seconds. But it goes quick, it'll be a little fun, and like I said, it's a little flowy to try to break up the monotony of a typical workout. Let's get to it. 20 seconds here, we're gonna go lateral bounds. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. And obviously, I'll remind you what exercise we got, but we're just trying to jump back and forth right now. 20 seconds here. We actually only have 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. And again, you can add those skaters. We're gonna go deep squat with that rotation. Ready? And switch. We're gonna be from the side here. Big rotation. This one, we're just trying to hold this squat as deep as we can, rotating through the shoulders. We're going that crab bridge in 3, 2, 1, and switch. So as we lift up, rotate across the body, big, long reach. Try to keep those hips off the ground the entire time. Five seconds, we'll go that loaded beast push-up shoulder tap. Ready? And switch. So again, this is the complicated one. Body stays nice and tight to the body or to the ground. Push up, shoulder tap, right back into it. Body stays nice and tight, and push up. Only gonna get probably 2 reps. 3, 2, 1, and time. 20 seconds rest. Maybe only get 2, 3, 4 reps. Perfectly fine. Again, add that shoulder tap to push up if you need to. 10 seconds, back to lateral bounce. I know it's a lot. Ready? 2, 1, lateral bounds. Remember, add those skaters if you choose. Just sinking into that plant leg as we're landing so that we don't have any knee issues. 5 seconds. We're gonna go that deep squat to rotation. 2, 1, and switch. Sitting those hips back, sitting into that squat, rotating up to the sky. Big rotation here. 5 seconds. We're gonna go that crab bridge. 2, 1, and switch. Keep those hips off the ground. Big rotation through the body. Emphasize that squeeze of the glutes. Keep those shoulders tight. 5 seconds. We'll go that loaded beast to a push-up. And switch. Remember, body stays close to the ground. All push-up, straight up. Almost like a tricep push-up. Elbows are gonna stay tight. 3, 2, 1, and time. I'll tell you, that's one of my favorite flows. Maybe next week or 2 weeks we'll do it with 30 seconds in this next circuit rather than 20 seconds, just so you have a little bit more time to flow into it. But we'll play around with that. 3, 2, 1, round 3, lateral bounds. Try to stick that landing. Feet flat, drop into that squat, knees tracking over that foot. And focus on that balance. We don't want to see us falling. 3, 2, 1, deep squat with rotation. 20 seconds here. Big rotation through the body. Should feel our hips working, feel those adductors working. Maybe get a little bit in the spine here. 2, 1, crab bridge, rotational reach. Cross body reach, not rotational reach. Yeah, same thing. Rotating right across the body, parallel to the ground here. 2, 1, and switch. Loaded beast to that push-up. 10 seconds here. 3, 2, 1, relax. One more round coming up. 20 seconds rest. We got one more round. We'll take a break, and we got one more circuit coming up. Get in and out today. 10 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1, last round. Stick those landings, own that position if we need to. If you feel that balance is an issue, we really want to emphasize, stick this position. We don't want to see us crashing to the ground, falling down too much. 5 seconds, we're going deep squat to rotation. And switch. Rest those hands on those feet. full rotation. We're not hitting and holding ourselves up with those hands, just keeping them in a good position here. 2, 1, crab bridge. Hips all the way up. Emphasize that squeeze of the glutes. Hands staying under those shoulders. Big rotation here. 2, 1, and flip it over. Push-ups. Loaded beast to a push-up. Last 20 seconds here. Last good rep here, 5 seconds. And relax. All right, quick breather. Grab a drink. Wipe off any sweat if you've got it. Hopefully you do, because I do. We're gonna get going about 2 minutes or so. Like I said, it's more or less, or it's less your traditional stuff. Hopefully you still feel that burn though. We're still breaking a sweat, still getting that heart rate going, and hopefully having some fun, trying some different movements. Next 2 exercises, we're going to do 2 exercises for this third circuit. We're going to get a little bit more rest in between each exercise, 10 seconds between each exercise before we move on. And we're going to go 5 rounds. So it's going to be a longer circuit than everything else. That's 6 minutes total. Actually probably about the same as his last circuit. But 2 exercises, 30 seconds of work this time instead of 20. And we have another shoulder tap. All right. Another minute or so, and then I'll get talking about this second exercise, or second circuit. Sorry, third circuit. We've already done 2 circuits. Take this time, allow yourself to breathe a little bit better. If you're feeling like you're rushing a little bit too much, talking like crazy like I am, because I don't shut up sometimes. That's the New York in me. I'm from the New York area, so I tend to talk fast and keep going and going and going and go on a tangent. But allowing ourselves to slow our heart rate down, slow our breathing down, and just kind of gets us the chance to recover a little bit more efficiently. I don't even know if you can see my head. A little bit more efficiently, and then get ready for that third circuit. Get ready to move for that third circuit. But anyway, 2 exercises, 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 5 rounds. We're gonna go from one exercise right to the next, just back and forth 5 times. So it's a minute each exercise, a minute each round. Yes, a minute each round with 10 seconds of rest in between each exercise. First one, we're gonna start in a bear position, which is essentially a quadruped position, but on all 4s with our knees picked up. I don't want to be dripping sweat all over my mat. It's a mess. I gotta get a new one anyway, but that's besides the point. So, quadruped position. Hands are gonna stay under those shoulders, knees under those hips. And then from here, we're picking those knees up. This is our bear position. Now from here, we're gonna add a shoulder tap. One hand, tap the shoulder, opposite hand, tap the shoulder, and then we're gonna do a kick through. That's 1 rep, and then we're right back to that shoulder tap. And just back and forth, keeping the knees off the ground. When we do that kick through, I'm gonna take my right leg, kick through my left arm's gonna lift up, and then come in nice and tight. Notice my hips stay off the ground, feet stay off the ground. Right back to it. Left leg going through the right arm lifted up. And then adding that shoulder tap. If you need to, if the shoulder tap's too much with the knees up, go quadruped position, shoulder tap, take the knees up, then go into that kick through. Otherwise, try and get with the knees off the ground the entire time if we can. 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds rest, and then we're gonna flip it over into a Turkish sit-up to a bridge. So we're gonna be lying on the ground, essentially doing a Turkish get-up. One leg is gonna be straight, one leg is gonna be bent. Whatever leg is bent, same arm is gonna go up to the sky. I had to double check where I was.
And then from here, we're gonna essentially sit up. So I'm just show you from this side. Left leg's on the ground, left arm's up. Right hand is on the ground. And I'm just gonna essentially sit up to my elbow on my right arm, place that right hand down, and this is our bridge. Squeeze those glutes, lift up. Notice my left hand goes to the sky the entire time. That's one rep, then we'll switch sides. And just kind of alternate back and forth between each exercise. If you have a weight, you're more than welcome to grab a weight and just do that exercise, holding a weight up to the sky. It'll be a little bit slower to rotate because I don't want you kind of just throwing weights over your head, dropping it, hitting yourself in the face. I've actually seen that done with a medicine ball. Somebody dropped it, broke their nose right in their face. So please don't do that. If you have a weight, kind of rotate through and pick that weight up. Don't just flail your arms around and hurt yourself. But we're gonna go 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest of that Turkish get up or Turkish sit up to a bridge. Kind of doing like halfway through that Turkish get up. And then we'll go back and forth 5 total times. Sound like a plan? Good. Because even if it did, we're doing it anyway. Just kidding. And not really though. All right, let's get into that bear shoulder tap to a kick through. 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. A lot of shoulder on this exercise, so drop to the knees if you need to later on. But try it out with the knees up to start at least. Ready? 30 seconds here, shake those arms out. 3, 2, 1, and go. Remember, little shoulder tap. Kick that leg through. Pull the leg nice and tight. Hips off the ground. Come right back through. Rotate to the other side. Big rotation, and then right to that kick or right to that shoulder tap. Back and forth. 10 seconds. Shoulders stay tight. Core staying tight. 2, 1, relax. 10 seconds rest. We're gonna go Turkish sit up to a bridge. Ready, 2, 1, and go. Whoa, see, I'm already screwed up. Hand pointing to the sky the entire time. Try to rotate through each side, whatever your plant foot is. So my right leg's on the ground, my right foot's on the ground. Try to keep that foot in the same position the entire time. What we don't want to see is us raising through the toes or anything like that. Foot stays flat the entire time. 3, 2, 1, time. 1 round down, 4 to go. And again, if you have weights, more than welcome to use weights there. Back to that bear. 2, 1, and go. And remember, if you need to, just go with shoulder tap in that quadruped position, kick those knees up then, kick through, and kick through. And then just drop those knees back down. Big thing on this position though, core still staying tight. We don't want to see ourselves overarching of the back, over rounding of the back. I've mentioned it before, have a water bottle or something like that on that low back that stays tight. 5 seconds here. 2, 1, relax. 10 seconds rest. Going Turkish sit up to bridge. 3, 2, 1, and go. Remember, nice and tight through the core. We're getting a little bit of a sit up going. Hands pointing to the sky the entire time. If you're ever done a Turkish get up, we don't want to be here with the weight straight over in front of us. So you're going to drop that weight straight to the ground, cause some shoulder problems. We're keeping that hand straight to the sky, keeping that weight straight overhead. Getting that strong squeeze of the glute on that bridge. 5 seconds here. And relax. 10 seconds rest. I'll tell you, it's a lot harder to keep count when you have a stopwatch. That kind of sucks. 2, 1, round 3. Let's go. I need to get a true stopwatch from now on. Work those shoulders. Shoulders should feel that tension on this movement. Seconds here. Keep those hips off the ground on that kick through. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. 10 seconds rest. Back to that Turkish sit up. Then we got 2 more rounds. We're flying through here. Ready.
1, and go. See what I just did? You don't want to kick through and lift those hands right up overhead, keeping it straight to the sky. See, we make mistakes too. Remember, foot flat the entire time as we're lifting overhead. 10 seconds. Last 5, 2, 1, relax. 10 seconds rest. 2 more rounds. Right? Yeah, 2 more rounds. I had to double check. 2, 1, let's go. 2 more rounds here. Let's finish strong through this exercise. Strong core. Heart rate should be moving here. Heart rate should be pumping up. Continuously moving through this kick through. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and time. 10 seconds rest. We're gonna flip it over into that Turkish sit-up. 5 seconds, and then we got 1 more round. We got 1.5 minutes left to work. And go. And remember, if you have a weight, don't just switch it while you're overhead. That can cause some shoulder problems, cause some head problems with you dropping a kettlebell or a weight over your head. We don't want to see that. It doesn't feel good. I've dropped the weight on myself before. Never feels good. 10 seconds. Strong squeeze of those glutes. Open those hips up. On that get up bridge. 2, 1. Flip it over. 10 seconds rest. Last minute of work. Let's finish strong here. 2, 1, and go. Bear shoulder tap to that kick through. And don't over rotate. If you saw what I did, I over rotated. That just causes a little bit of shoulder instability there. Try to control that movement. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's flip it over. Turkish sit up the bridge. Last 30 seconds. Let's finish strong here. Ready, 2, 1, and go. Last 30 seconds of work. Keep those hips up on that bridge. Strong squeeze of those glutes. Push into the ground. Emphasize that squeeze. And open those hips up. 10 seconds. Last few good reps here. 2, 1. Time. Nice work, everybody. All right, let's go one quick stretch. We're gonna go quad hip flexor stretch to end out the week. We're fine. Quad hip flexor stretch to end out the week. Let's go a half kneeling stance. Emphasize that squeeze of the glute. I've mentioned it once, I've mentioned it 1,000 times. Think of your hips like a dog's tail. When a dog gets scared, tucks its tail between its legs. Think of your hips in that same movement. From here, tuck that tail. Slight lean forward. And I'm actually gonna take, my right leg is back. I'm gonna take my right hand, place it down to the ground. My left hand, I'm gonna try and grab my right ankle. And just kind of get a little rotation through my shoulders or through my thoracic spine. Getting a deep stretch in that quad, in that hip flexor of my right leg, my back leg. I'm just gonna hold here for about 10 more seconds or so. And relax. Let's go same thing on the other side. So other leg in front, right leg in front for me. I'm gonna squeeze the glute of my left leg. Tuck that hip, lean forward, left hand gonna come to the ground. Just get a little bit, just kind of own this position to start. I'm gonna rotate, grab that left ankle. Ooh, this one's tight. Get as much as I can. This is my bad hip, so it tends to be a little bit more tight than normal. And you'll notice one side might be a little bit more tense, a little bit more tight than the other side. 10 more seconds or so. And relax.